When you have geometry that is repeated throughout a file, it's a perfect time to create a block. Once a block has been made, it can easily be inserted in each location where the geometry is needed. In this lesson, we're going to create some blocks. On my screen I have a drawing that represents an office floor plan, and over here to the right I have drawn some geometry that represents a common symbol. Let's zoom in. If I hover over these entities, you can see these are all individual objects. I'd like to convert this geometry into a block. To do that, I'll move up to the block panel and click the Create button. I will then give my block a name. I'll call this Toilet. Then in the base point area I can identify the insertion point of the block. That's the point at which I'll be holding it when I place it in the file. Now I can do that by entering a specific coordinate. Probably the easiest way is by clicking the Pick Point button, and then I can select a point on screen. I'm thinking the most logical place to be holding this symbol when I insert it would be the midpoint of the back. Next I'll come over and click the Select Objects button, and I'll select the entities that make up the block. I'll press Enter when finished. Finally, take a look at these three radio buttons. What do you want to do with this geometry after you turn it into a block? Do you want to retain it and keep the individual entities? Do you want to convert this geometry into the first inserted block? Or do you want to delete the objects? I'm going to delete them because I really don't need these objects anyway. It's not like it's in the right position, and if I need this geometry in the file I can always insert the block. When I'm finished I'll come down and click OK, and you can see that geometry disappears. The block I just created is now defined in this file. Let's try inserting one. I'm going to pan over to the southernmost restroom, and I would like to place that symbol halfway between the sink and the wall. So I'll move up to the block panel and I'll launch the Insert command. I'll select my new block from the list, and when I insert this, I'd like AutoCAD to ask me for an insertion point and a rotation angle. I'm going to make sure that Scale and Explode are unchecked. I will then click OK. As you can see, I'm holding that symbol at my cursor, and I'd like to place this at Shift right click. I'll choose mid between 2 points, and I'll select the endpoint of the sink and the endpoint of the wall. And I'd like to define the rotation angle by grabbing the northwest corner of the room. Now that this symbol is in the file, I can easily copy this to the other room. I'll select this one and pick it up from the northeast corner of the sink and place it to the northeast corner of this one. Alright, let's take the block concept a little further. If I pan down to this office, you can see that I've drawn a door swing. As you can see, this opening measures 36 inches. I have to insert several other doors in this file, so I'd like to create a block out of this geometry. Here's the catch. Not all of my door openings are the same size. The ones going to the restroom are 30 inches wide, and this one going into the closet is only 24 inches. I'd like to use one symbol for all of these door openings. No problem, let's pan back down to this office. And before I convert this geometry into a block, I'm going to scale it down. I'll launch the Scale command. I'll select both of these entities, and I'll select them from the corner of the door frame. And I'm going to use a scale factor that sets my final door size to 1 inch wide. The easiest way to do this is by pressing Ctrl A. Then I'll type 1 divided by 36 equals. I'll click Apply and then I'll press Enter. If I zoom in just as a check, I'll launch the Distance command, and if I find the distance between the two endpoints, I can see that door is 1 inch wide. Now why did I do that? Well, if my block is only 1 inch wide, I can use a scale factor to insert this into any size door frame. A scale factor of 36 would make this door fit in a 36 inch frame. To put it in a 30 inch frame, the door would have to have a scale factor of 30. So it makes the math easy. Let's turn this geometry into a block. I'll come back up to the block panel and launch the Create command. I'll call this block Door Swing. I'll then click Pick Point to define my base point, and I'll select the corner of the door frame. I'll choose Select Objects, and I will select both entities that make up the door swing and press Enter. After the block is created, I'd like to delete these entities because they're not needed. I'm going to make sure that Scale Uniformly is checked. This will ensure that as the door is scaled up and down, it will scale proportionally in the X, Y, and Z directions. When I'm finished, I'll come down and click OK. Now let's back up, and I'll insert one of the door blocks. I'll select the symbol from the list. I'd like AutoCAD to ask me for the insertion point. Don't ask me for the rotation because the original orientation is just fine. And for the scale, I'm going to preset a scale of 36. When I click OK, the door is scaled up to 36 inches wide, and I can place it to the corner of the door frame. Now let's pan this up, and we'll place one in the 30-inch opening. Insert same symbol, specify a point on screen. I do want to specify a rotation angle this time, and this one will be a 30-inch opening. I want the door to be connected on the north side of the frame. For the rotation angle, I'm going to lock my ortho and I'll pull straight up so the door is opening out. Now actually that's incorrect, but I can always use the mirror command. Select my block and use the inside corners of the door frame to flip it to the other side. When prompted here, I'm going to type Y to erase the original door. Finally, we'll take care of the door for this closet. I'll click Insert, ask for the insertion point. I'm not going to worry about the rotation because the original orientation is fine. And in this case, I'm not even going to enter a scale. I'm going to have AutoCAD ask for the scale. I'll place the door on the right side of the frame. At this point, I could type 24 for my scale factor, or I could just pull over and select the endpoint on the other side of the frame. As you can see, using this one block, I can add a door swing to any opening, regardless of its size. So the next time you have duplicated geometry in a file, consider creating a block. With a little foresight and creativity, you'll be surprised at how far this concept can take you.